Here we are in mid-chapter 8 review exercises number 15. Just one problem, but it's a big one. Derive the quadratic formula by completing the square. Now the quadratic formula looks like this. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So that's the quadratic formula. That's what we have to produce from here by completing the square. So just writing that down is not sufficient. So by completing the square, so we need to get rid of this leading coefficient and pull that guy over to the other side. So subtract, divide by a everywhere, and then subtract that c over a from both sides. So we now have x squared plus b over ax, leave a space, equals negative c over a. Now we've got to complete the square. We've got to put something in here to make this a perfect square. We've done that before. Take half of this guy, which is b over 2a. Remember, if we take 1/2 times b over a, that's half of b over a is b over 2a. Squared is b squared over 2 times 2 is 4, a times a is a squared. So that's what we have to add. That's the magic number to add to both sides right there, so that this guy is actually a perfect square of that. All right. Let's write that out. Negative c over a plus b squared over 4a squared. All right, there we go. Look at that. Now we have it as a perfect square. Let's combine these fractions, put those two together over on this side, and we need a common denominator. Looks like this has 4aa, so we need to times by 4a here to get 4a squared, so times by 4a up there. And so we will have negative 4ac plus b squared all over 4a squared. Oh, that's a c there. All right, equals x plus b over 2a all together squared. All right, so now this is all together. This is a squared. We can square root this side and square root that side with a plus and a minus. Don't forget that guy. So we have x plus b over 2a equals plus or minus the square root of minus 4ac plus b squared over the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of a squared is a. And good. The plus and minus stays with the square root on the top. Subtract b over 2a from both sides. Subtract b over 2a. So we get x equals negative b over 2a plus or minus the square root of, is that all right if we write the b squared first? Yeah, of course it is. There's your minus 4ac, and that's all over 2a. Oh, look, we have two fractions with the common denominator, so we can write them all together as negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And why do we do all that? So that we can use the quadratic formula to solve every quadratic equation. Excellent. We have now derived where that quadratic equation formula came from.